Okay, I'm going to take you around and just talk and just talk. You edit the word.
So yeah, I mean, sort of what I was really looking to do, right, is I love to be able to drive around the city while we're chatting, to learn a little bit about yourself, talk about the department, and then about the city that you guys truly love. I mean, are you from Camden yourself?
Originally, yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the guys that I chatted with this morning, Captain Johnson and Ivan, your probationary firefighter there, Quiles, both from the city.
Yeah, well, everybody in the department has to be from the city before you even get
residency.
the job. Resident.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, makes sense. It makes sense. But I think it's, it's one thing to move here to take the test and get on the department. Mm-hmm. It's another to born and raised here.
Yeah.
And, I think the ownership of the city and, the relationships and protecting the city that you grew up with that did for you, I think that's a magical story. I really like that, How many years do you have with Camden?
I have 31 years with Camden. Wow.
Outstanding. And how many years as chief now?
2 years.
Okay.
Almost 2 years. Right. We're coming up on it fast to be 2 years complete. So this is funny. This is my apparatus shop.
Okay.
The gentleman that when we went down to go look at the truck as it was being built,
right.
Was our maintenance supervisor.
Okay.
I wanted him to kind of come say hi and say something, but we'll catch him later.
His door's down.
The door was open.
Yeah, right.
When I went through and he closed it.
That's funny.
That is.
Yeah, he knew you were coming. That's funny.
Yeah. So
that looks like a newer facility.
Yeah, it is a new facility. They actually just recently did it within the last couple of years because the old facility, and I'll take you around where the old facility was
sure.
at, was actually taken up by Subaru.
Okay.
And when Subaru bought it, they said they would put money into helping them build this. So it was nice, a good relationship that we built with different companies that are throughout the city.
Are you seeing more money coming back into the city, some manufacturing and things like that?
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing. It's a big turnaround to the point where you're almost getting used to what's happening in the city now because it's a lot of companies coming back into the city. The city was originally, and I'm going to say this is far beyond when I was born, from what my father told me. And my father used to be a fireman in the city of Camden. From what my father told me, this was like a manufacturing town.
Sure.
There was a lot of companies here, a lot of work being done, a lot of things. All roads lead to Camden.
Yeah.
From what I was always told. And if you really look at the map, all roads lead to Camden.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yes.
That is very true. Yeah, it was certainly an industrial mecca, years and years ago. But like so many of our cities, though, right? They have fallen on hard times over the years, and manufacturing has left. But it's nice to see some resurgence coming back. Where neighborhoods can kind of pick up some of the pieces and start to rebuild and so on. And I know Camden is, yeah, that's okay. I know, Camden itself, it's got a lot of character and a lot of history.
Yes, character is an understatement. We've had, and me and the deputies were just talking about that. There was a black eye on Camden for being, number one in crime,
yes.
and number one in a lot of different things.
Right.
When it came down to all the bad stuff.
Sure.
But it never highlighted the good stuff that actually came from the city. And the city, throughout all that, was always a good city with good people inside of it. It's just that there's an element that would make it bad, and everybody tried their best to make it work the best they could.
Yeah.
But now there's a big turnaround.
Love
the police department that we have, the Metro Police Department, has done an excellent job getting the crime down. We're not number one anymore, but we still have crime.
Sure.
We still have fires.
Yes.
As much as we're trying not to, as much as you try to do every fire prevention tactic that's out there to minimize the fire, sometimes things happen. And you got to just be prepared for it. And this is why we go through the training, all the things that we do. But the diversity within the town, not just through the people, but through the types of businesses that are here, is what's really making this so different. And I took you the way that we're going, and we're off of 2nd Street, because I wanted to see basically an industrial area that's right next to the ports.
Yep.
So that's one thing that you really don't, when people think about Camden, they don't really think about that this has never really changed. We've been an industrial city that has a port,
right,
that actually has product coming in and product going out. We're not one of the largest, but we still have stuff happening within the city. And I'm not going to say we're not the lowest either, but we still have stuff that comes in and out of the city.
Well, you're right on the Delaware, right?
Yes, we are.
And
right across the street from Philadelphia.
Yeah, right across the street from Philadelphia. I love that. No, and so rightfully so. I mean, it is a busy hub, and you are a gateway to across the river to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But the shipping channels, you have commuter railroads, right? Mm-hmm. You have tremendous industry. Mm-hmm. And then you also have not just the neighborhoods, but also the downtown sections too. I mean, it's a historical place with the battleship, mm-hmm. right? You have the aquarium. I know I've been to concerts down in that area, right? Mm-hmm. So it is really a diverse city. How big of a city is it?
So we're just shy of 9 square miles. We're about 9 square miles when you really think about it. This is what the department covers. Our department has 6 fire stations mm-hmm. that are strategically placed within 9 square miles, but we have 9 companies that operate.
Okay. And it's, I believe, 6 engines, 3 trucks, and a rescue?
Correct.
Okay.
And the 3 trucks, the one truck isn't always staffed. They're like the rescue, and the truck kind of shares duties and shares personnel. And we're looking to hopefully change that at some point in time because, like I said, there's a diversity within what we do.
Sure.
And because the houses are so tightly put together, so packed together, you need that show of force, that resource, that human resource, and that apparatus resource that actually will help put out the fire quickly.
Yeah.
If we can put out the fire as quick as possible, that saves lives, saves property, takes care of all the problems, because any kind of delay will just expand the fire within minutes. A fire grows every 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Hold on one second.
Yep.
How you doing, sir?
Hi there.
Just taking a tour. I'm going to be going down there showing them Battleship. I'm not going on top of it, and I'm coming right out.
Oh, sure. Camden City Fire?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second. White gate. You're going to have a white SUV coming down to you. That's Camden City Fire. They're just taking a look. Hold on just 1 second. Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think something really interesting that you said, right, is the show of force on the initial alarm. You know, you have a lot of row homes,
yes.
older construction,
yes.
some dilapidated neighborhoods where the buildings are in disrepair.
Right.
And so you're talking heavy fire volume on arrival.
On arrival, you're 100% correct. And the thing, and you know what, I get ahead of myself sometimes. The one thing I'm gonna tell you is that most of the firehouses in the city, not the one you left. The one you left was built in 1993.
Right.
The one I work at is the one I'm stationed at
mm-hmm.
is actually built in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
But all the rest of them were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Talk about character, huh?
Correct. So they're 100 years old without a doubt. But the other thing that people don't really think about is that not only are the firehouses 100 years old, but there's some of the houses that are here that are 100 years old.
Yeah. Wow, look at this. So we're right on the river now, and mm-hmm. right across the river is Philadelphia.
Correct.
And here we have the Battleship, which has been docked in Camden for quite some time now.
Quite some time. It's pretty much, our, not to use a funny phrase, but a flagship for right here, because people know us for the Battleship, right? Battleship, New Jersey now.
Right.
So we get a lot of traffic coming down here just for the Battleship. People getting on there. The Battleship does an excellent job of running tours,
sure,
and having kids on here and trying to present what the Navy is.
It's good. That's good. Yeah. It's so important, like the fire service, right? The service side of things, our military, getting young kids to understand and appreciate the value of it,
right,
and how to get them involved.
Right. And you know, the fire service all throughout the country was made up of a lot of people back when World War I or in World War II kind of ended.
Sure.
It kind of developed paramilitary. And that's where it derived from, the fact that a lot of military servicemen were coming back and they were getting into the fire service and the police department. So we took on a lot of the same mannerisms, the same policies, the same tactics that the police, that the military has done.
Yeah, for sure. And you look at that greatest generation, they're called, right? And when coming back from World War II, a lot of our vets, and those were the warrior guys. Those were the guys was that your father?
Yes. Father was in Vietnam, came out of Vietnam, and came in the fire department shortly afterwards.
Yeah. What year did he come on, do you know?
He came on, I believe it was 1968, right before I was born.
And Camden in 1968, in a firefighter's perspective, they were on fire, right?
Oh, they were on fire. I mean, there were jobs all the time, but it was a whole different department, a whole different environment, a whole different culture back then. Fires were happening a lot.
Bigger department too, I would assume. More
yes,
companies?
Much bigger department.
Yeah.
We had probably over 250 men and women,
Wow.
or I should say men at the time, men that were throughout the department, and they were fighting fires. But our department is started as a fully paid fire department in 1869.
Wow. It's got some years.
Got some years. We've got some history.
And then the one.
Can you just turn the radio off?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I got you.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to get out and take some shots of that.
Do you want? I think we're going to come back down later.
Okay,
I think that's the idea with the film crew, and they're going to get some real good shots of different aspects of the city once we're done.
So the one thing I'm gonna tell you is that you see what had to go through. I think they'll let you down here.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't let you pay a ticket. That's why I brought you myself.
Well, we appreciate that.
You weren't going to have to pay it.
I appreciate that for sure. I think what's really interesting is looking at the history of departments, and 1869 is. You guys got quite a few years as a career fire department, probably one of the older ones in New Jersey, I would believe. Mm-hmm. But I also know too that you guys were the first motorized fleet, I believe, in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. And you know what? The one thing we don't have is a lot of pictures of our first motorized. But in some of the stations, you're going to find some photos. I'm not sure which one is actually the first motorized apparatus that was purchased.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were the first to pretty much put it in place and have our department outfitted with motorized equipment and fight fire. But we've been using tactics that have become more modernized even since that time. We've always had the same company numbers.
Okay.
We've always been Engine 1 or Engine 10. We've always had those same company numbers.
Thank you. So you held on to the companies, and as other companies faded out, or because years ago it was a much bigger department, right? Like any city, they always had more companies back then. But yeah, so you held on to the tradition of those companies.
Correct. And that's one of those things. History, as you alluded to earlier, is one of the bigger things that we try to reinforce in the fire department. We understand modernization is going to come, but you can't really take down or diminish the history of the department, the history of the city, the things that have made it what it is.
Yes, I would agree. I think that knowing the foundation, right? All of us have a piece of the story, right? When we're here, but it was here before us, it's going to be here after us. And I think building upon and understanding the ground that you're building on. So the foundation's one thing, it's the ground we build that foundation upon.
100%, 100%. And guess what? Technology, modernization, changing some things is all a part of life.
That's right.
But you still need to have an understanding of where you came from and why it was the way it was.
100%. And I think the one thing that I love about the fire service is like the core tenets of it. The most important aspects of the job we can't lose, right? It's always the public first. Mm-hmm. The people that unconditionally believe we're coming. We have to make sure that everything we do represents the mission for which we're sworn to do.
Correct. And the mission is the biggest thing. My deputies and everybody, all the staff around here, the battalion chiefs and all the different ranks understand the mission. Yeah. And we stick to the mission. And the missions and the environment has changed and the mission has changed.
That's it.
And had to. And we work more closely now with the police department, with
mm-hmm.
EMS, with all the various entities throughout the department, Public Works, Office of Emergency Management.
Sure.
We have a very good relationship with all of them. But that's what it has come to. I think they've always known that these different departments existed, but I don't think they've had a working relationship to the capacity we've obtained and have produced today.
Yeah, well, it just makes sense, right? As we innovate and continue to grow, there's a lot of overlap between departments, and years ago it was a lot of separation between them, but it just makes sense today, especially with the more socially conscious issues we're dealing with, school shootings, school violence, things like that, right? You obviously have to get to work with your other agencies, there's no doubt. And I guess that's a big part of your office. I mean, maintaining those relationships, building those relationships, working with City Hall. I know that, unfortunately, that's the one thing that the fire chief has to do on a daily basis.
Sometimes it's not unfortunate.
Yes,
City Hall for me has always been
that's good.
A great partner. And there's requests from everybody. It doesn't matter whether it's City Hall or it's police, EMS. Everybody has a request. You just have to be able to fill the request as being asked.
Yeah. I always wondered, right? So your upbringing, I'd love to understand a little bit about your career in the Camden Fire Department. So coming out of the academy, what year did you come in?
So I came in 1994.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
No worries.
Turn my phone off. Ooh, excuse me. Yes, ma'am. That's how things go.
That's right.
Calls.
That's right.
Yeah, answer.
I get it.
So I started in 1994.
Yeah.
And before I move on, I took you this way because I wanted to show you all the aquarium, everything that was down
Appreciate
here.
it.
Show you the bridge, Ben Franklin Bridge, that we're caught between two bridges. So even though Gloucester City takes on the one bridge, and this is basically our part of the bridge, we both share response to the bridge along with Philadelphia.
Got it.
When I say you're reaching across the table to partners,
that's right.
A lot of partners within the area.
I'm sure. And looking at this too, it's not just, thousands of vehicles a day, but you also have train activity.
Commuter. So we've got a subway that comes across here.
Right.
Not just tractor trailers and regular cars. There's a lot of traffic that comes through here. And again, I always allude back to all roads lead to Camden, and all roads lead right out of it too.
Yeah. I look at things like this when you start looking at the infrastructure, and we just passed some light rail before too downtown, right?
Right.
And when you look at all this, and the company we were just in, your rescue company's there. And,
right.
You guys, and then in the rear of that station are specialty trailers, hazmat, special operations, right? Like any fire department. But really in a city like this, there is plenty of opportunity for things to go wrong on so many different levels. So to have those resources available.
Right, and that's what I alluded to about the diversity within the city.
Yeah.
Not just with the people, but with the companies themselves, because we've got everything. We've got hazmat, we've got trains, we've got subways, we've got everything you could probably think of, the different types of construction that's in the city.
Yeah.
The different types of companies. We've got Holtec, which I'm going to take you down to. He's dealing with nuclear waste.
Wow.
We've got companies, American Water, that's dealing with the water department. We got the CCMUA that's dealing with our waste. Mm-hmm. We've had shipping docks and shipping that was going on up and down the coast. That's why I brought you this way.
Sure.
Because I wanted to show you everything that was actually happening.
Yeah.
And then you're going to look at another aged home that's getting refurbished.
American Revolution Museum.
Look at that.
That is cool. Well, it's an old town. It's an old city. There's just so much
old
here.
Town, old city, but what I like about it is the mayor, Victor Karstopin, has been putting a lot of money into the parks and putting into making the community much better.
That's it.
Doing cleanup. So it's a community that you try to reinvest in, even though there's some age to it. And with everything that has age, you've got to put money back into it just so that you can make it still look good. It's the history that you're preserving, but in the same token, you're bringing about the technology in a new environment that's emerging.
You want to create an environment where people can thrive.
Correct.
You want to give them opportunity and invest in our neighborhoods to give people a chance, give people opportunity, and it's so important to see administrations. City Hall, but of course the fire department too. How you do that in your own department represents the community. You know, there's so much to that. I agree. So 94.
94, I come in the job, nervous kid, with a lot of senior seasoned people, and I bring them up because I can't really say because they shaped me into who I was. There were values, there were thoughts that they came through and the way you did things within the fire department that they instilled in me,
Right.
And that I kind of do to today. Without them, I wouldn't be who I was. And when you say you grew up, and I grew up in the fire department, I literally grew up in the fire department. I was basically 22 coming on the job, getting ready to turn 22 getting ready to turn 23 soon. 22 coming onto the job, and spent my whole career with all these seasoned veterans, and within the last, I'm going to say 10 years, they kind of, left the job and retired, and and you kind of hold on to that for a good 20 years of my career. I was with some seasoned dudes that explained the fire service, explained the community, explained what to do. 3-story homes here, 2-story homes where we leave, wood frame homes in other areas. You got homes that have that are apartments that house multiple families, multiple people, and it's different ways you got to address every bit of it. Different things you got to do. A number of churches, and the cities almost 200 years old. You're looking at these churches as being just as old. So there's things about it you want to preserve.
I mean, just beautiful architecture, and I love the churches that are the center of those neighborhoods, right? And I think that what it can offer is just a great approach to, I don't know, humanity. It's so important. I think what we have to make sure of is that our fire departments represent the communities of which we serve. And I think it has to be done, obviously, in a merit system. We have to make sure we have the very best people for the job. But we also need to make sure that we have opportunity to represent our communities through our department. I think that's super important.
Super important, because you want the community to look at their fire department, their police department, and every other place and say, I can recognize myself in them, and I can communicate with them, and I feel safe with them. You don't want it to be, and even though we operate in a paramilitary fashion, we don't want it to be a military conversation you're having with the community. You want it to be a family-oriented community, a conversation you're having with the community.
Yeah, and I always think about little kids and how the fire service can be something so important to them that they don't even recognize an interaction they could have at 4 or 5 years old. 20 years later, they could be a career firefighter and pursue that passion because of an interaction they had with a fire truck in their neighborhood that day when they were young.
Correct, and that's one of the bigger things that I make sure that our department gets out and go to the schools, get out in the streets, talk to the people, communicate with the young kids, build a relationship with the community itself, because these are the people who expect you to be there to save their lives, and you don't want them afraid of you. You want them to come to you, know that you're coming, understand what you're there to do.
And the fire service has so much to offer. I mean, I think about my 30 years in the fire service and what it's done for me. It gets me to be in Camden, New Jersey today, meeting with you and having conversation. And I'm a very lucky guy, I think, when it comes to my fire service career. But I know how important it was to me. And I can only imagine for others, people that are looking for some direction or discipline or some structure. The fire service offers all that.
Yes, offers all that, and then some.
Yeah.
We're not as flexible as the police department because they've got a lot more, because, whenever a cop shows up, you're getting protection right away.
Right.
When you see a fireman, you don't know, you're getting protection, but not in the same fashion.
Sure.
Firemen aren't carrying guns.
No.
But in the same token, we know what's going to, save your life. In case of fire, we're being trained in CPR. There's a lot of other things that are there. I'm not taking anything away from the EMS worker or any other person that's out there, but we've got a whole wide range of things that we've got to learn and have under our tool belt.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. There's a lot to that. So your upbringing, you worked underneath some incredible mentors and people that really held the line for you as to what this job was all about.
Yes. And you know what? And just to kind of pair it together, 22 years old, and I was the typical 22-year-old kid.
We were all there, yeah.
Who didn't really want to do everything the correct way. But I was around some guys that had a lot of patience and were connected with my father, so they had a lot of patience with me and taught me a lot of different things. And as I grew, I kind of grew into what they were to show me and what they expected from me and what's expected from you as you move up the ranks. And that was the biggest thing. We fought a lot of different fires back in the day.
Sure.
And every time you get a seasoned guy come on or a guy that's been here a while, he'll say, we're not fighting the same fires we used to. And there's some truth to it. But because there's so much coming back into the city, manufacturing, so many businesses coming back into the city, you're going to see that again. You're going to see those same possibilities again because you're going to have large buildings, big corporations, big things happen in the city.
Sure.
We don't want to see fires happen. And now that the construction industry has changed to the point where you have to have sprinkler systems and so on and so forth, we're going to be doing something different. You're not fighting the fires that the old heads once did.
Right.
We're going to be fighting it a different way.
Right. I think what's really interesting then, I want to piggyback on that conversation, then, is that I'm sure a lot of those mentors of yours are now retired and off the job. I'm sure the Camden Fire Department, like many, are starting to trend younger.
Yes.
And so as we're losing, I mean, the fire service is built on knowledge and experience because that absolutely matters.
Absolutely matters.
And
knowledge and experience.
So when we lose that experience, we're looking at a younger generation of firefighters and maybe not as many mentors as we once had. And so that's happening across the country when it comes to the fire service. So I did meet a couple guys today that, 24 years, I think, 22, you have 31. So it's nice to see there is some longevity still here, but I'm sure you're trending younger.
Yes, we are trending younger. As of now, I think since 2017, we probably put on, I'm going to say, between 5 to 8 classes, and this might be my the ninth one coming in.
You have a class going right now?
We have a class going right now. Class of 8 firefighters.
Wow.
Or recruits in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Gorgeous firehouse.
Engine 11, one of our firehouses. Now, I brought you here for a particular reason, and I want to just park for a second.
Sure.
This firehouse was built when there was no road. So now you see that this firehouse, as it was built, there was no road. It's built kind of on a slant.
Right.
Because there was no road. So by the time they put the road, they couldn't move the firehouse. So they had to put everything around it.
Wow. There's so much to the storytelling. And I think that's such a big part of the fire service that I think we're losing is the storytelling. Right? We can train, we can drill, we can sit around the table, but when we sit around that table, when guys start telling stories, that's how we learn, right?
That's how we learn. That's how you understand what's going to... To be quite honest with you, the stories that you hear about how they did things makes it how we've developed official action guides and policies and procedures to do things, because we've had good things happen, we've had bad things happen. And you kind of change the department and why we do things. Before we took this drive, they were talking to me about changing our uniform, changing this, and I had to tell them, I understand you want to change how it looked, but we can't have things in the fire department that's going to harm you. So I've got to use materials that's going to protect you. I've got to use the way I buy your clothing, the way I buy your gear, the way I buy your equipment. Everything's built to protect you so that you can do your job effectively and efficiently.
Right. There's a lot to that. And frankly...
Sorry, were you done?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're good. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. So, I mean, that's the who's going to tell the stories when you're gone?
So that's what actually happens. I'm not telling you a story that I got myself. I've got that from all the seasoned senior firemen that actually told me all this stuff. I don't tell it as well as they did because they lived it.
Sure.
But I tell it the way I remember them telling it and informing me of how things were and what they did and how the department used to be and what was going on with the department back in their day. I can tell you those things. I can tell you more effectively and with clarity about what was going on as I was coming through. All the fires that I fought, all the lives that were saved, all the things that actually changed. I can tell you that with a whole lot of clarity. You want to take a picture of that?
Rail yard.
And when I tell you all roads lead to Camden,
That's it.
railroads too.
I worry about the storytelling, and I worry that the younger generation doesn't value the stories, or they don't see the value in it. And that worries me, because we talked about foundation and the ground in which we build. We got to know the stories, and we have to pass them on. But I do know that when we can sit around the table in the evening when chores are done and meals done, and we can get a few minutes of downtime to have the companies catch up, that's the time where the stories need to flourish. And we need those senior guys to be able to share those stories.
Share and hear those stories and tell those young guys, because you got guys that have grown up in the city right before they got in the fire department, seeing the fire trucks go up and down the road. I was one of them, seeing them go up and down the road. Father came past with the fire truck to the house to check on me or anything like that. Never knew anything about the fire service until you actually get in the fire service and you get in the department, and then you start understanding that this is a whole business. This is a whole thing. This is what protects the city. And then as I come up to the fire department, you start to understand how things work together.
Yes.
And that's what people don't realize. Everything in the city has a purpose, and it works together with each other.
Do you think you'd ever find yourself in the chief of department position?
I'm gonna tell you, no, I did not. And one of the reasons why it's the one good thing I like about the department, it's competitive. And if it wasn't me, I knew the person that was going to take it. If it wasn't me, the person that had it was going to be intelligent, that was going to be able to do the job the best he could, but was qualified to do it.
There's a lot to be said for that.
And I've got deputy chiefs under me. I've got battalion chiefs under me, and at some point in time, they're going to be the leader. And I know we've got competent, intelligent people in the department that are going to be able to take over and do things within the department. But that comes with time, and that comes with training, and that comes with education. All right, I'm taking a brief stop right here just to tell you this.
Sure.
This firehouse was born 1899.
Wow. Wow. Was there a road here?
I want to say, and this is my thought process, because of everything the way it was done.
Right.
I think they actually started building the road because of where this fire station sat.
It makes sense.
I'm thinking these homes were here as well, because you can see the distance that these homes are from the front of the firehouse.
Right.
That's a little close.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it's a lot of upkeep when you have older firehouses in your city. Tremendous amount of upkeep, but it's sometimes it's we'll just build a new firehouse, and you lose that character and that charm and that I think all that matters. And you see a lot of new firehouses today are super sterile. They don't have much character, and the history gets lost.
Yeah, and that's one thing. We've got some people have actually taken over some of the older buildings that were here, because there were more stations.
Sure.
Bigger department, more stations, and once they closed some of the stations that were in the city, some other people had taken over. One's a museum, another person was using it for residency, or another person used another one for their business.
Sure, right.
But the one that's a museum, and we're going to scoot past that one. They brought back some of the vintage when it was first built.
Yeah.
When you walk into that thing, you really get a sense of what it looked like back when they first built it.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. But that's got to be the exciting thing about Camden too. Then it's an aging city that's seeing a little bit of a resurgence. And so when you can take historical buildings and preserve them.
And preserve them.
And give them a new life on top of the the life it once had.
Correct.
It doesn't get much better than that, Chief.
Yeah, and guess what? There's such a history in the city itself. I'm just not going to talk about the fire department without saying the history that's within the city itself, with the people, with the buildings, why things are in the way they are. There's such a beautiful history within the city itself, within the people that have been our leaders and the people have done different things within the city. There's a story in it by itself that should be told.
Yeah.
How the city has changed, how it's growing, how it went from being number one in murders to now a resurgent, and our murders are down as low as they possibly can go, and the city's coming back, and we've got skyscrapers and big business, and we're getting back to the community they once were.
Yeah. Well, it's so easy for the world to focus on the negative, right? It's a lot of what we do in society is, always looking at the negative, but it's the actual stories. It's boots on the ground, the people that work here, the people that live here. They're the ones that should be telling the narrative.
Correct.
And, it's good to see the change. And I think what's really interesting, and you alluded to it before, though, is the commitment of the fire department to be willing to innovate and change as the city does as well.
Correct.
And I'm sure that's a challenge for you.
Oh, that's the biggest thing we kind of thrive on. The fire department can adapt to the way the city is moving. They've gone from the town being desolate,
right?
Homes just vacant, buildings vacant, and still having to deal with the insurgence of all the fires that actually took on, to social unrest.
Yeah.
And then moving from social unrest to just the rebuilding stage and how they get the rebuilding back. And we've kind of maintained our identity and maintain what we can actually do and develop tactics to address all of it.
Right. Right. I mean, it's fun. And you are the chief of the department, and you alluded to incredible deputies and battalions and companies. It's a vision. It's a shared vision, right? Mm-hmm. Of moving forward.
Yes. It's a thing that we do, and I brought you here because this is one of our older schools. This is Eastside High, formerly known as Woodrow Wilson. Mm-hmm. They're actually going to tear it down and rebuild it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many high schools are in the city?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you how many high schools in the city, because they're always building. They're always building and changing and creating, and that's another thing. I was just sitting there saying, there's so many kids in the city. The education has been one thing that they've been working towards. And building this back, they actually took an old school that was that needed work. They've actually put the work in the old school just so they could get this building back to being a high school that it once was.
Oh, that's great.
Right next to the park, and that's their mascot right there.
That's
that
cool.
Big tiger.
Look at that. That's cool.
Yeah. So when you talk about that, the one thing, and again, I had my predecessor kind of operated somewhat similar to the same way. When we talked about the changes and the different things that had to go on, and the personnel we were hiring, and the training that was needed, and the apparatus, and every little detail.
Sure.
It wasn't just him making it by himself. He always took in, and I've kind of expanded on that, and I've really gotten down to leaning on committees and talking to the deputies and making sure that they have input in the everyday dealings with the department.
I think that's how you make progress, right? When you have a command staff and administration that works together, mm-hmm. and you try to take as much friction out of the system as possible, mm-hmm. I think that's how we win.
That's how we win. That's how we win. And that's across the board. I think that's throughout the country. And there's different companies, there's different government entities that mm-hmm. can that we all can share and learn from, and take different pieces of it and make the community much better.
Yeah.
And you said it best earlier. It's about the community.
Yeah. It has to be. And I think in some departments we lose focus of that. And I think when we stray from our true mission of what we're here for is when things get confusing, right?
Correct.
I think if we can stay on point, I love that firehouse. It's just the red doors, It's that urban firehouse thing, with the red doors and the pride of the company numbers on the doors and all of that. I love it. But I want to ask you this, because I know time. I don't want to take too much of your time, but the future looks very bright.
It does. It does. Very bright. There's a lot of innovative things that are actually happening, and that's one of the things that we've been just discussing of recent. You look at the environment, you look at the city, you look at the community, and you try to say to yourself, what's coming? What's next? What are the problems? What are the good things? What can we do that's going to help us work better in the conditions that we got to work into? I'll give you one example. The electric vehicle is one big example. 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't even a conversation.
Sure.
Now it's the only conversation.
Yep.
It's how do we deal with it if it catches on fire, if it's in a motor vehicle accident? How do we deal with it? Because when they go fuel up, how do you deal with it, period? How do you extinguish the batteries?
Sure.
There's a lot of unknown questions that are out there, answers that we desperately need, because we're used to gas stations.
Sure. And
we know how to deal with that. We've done that several different times. So there's a body of work that we've had to handle throughout the city. But this is something new, and this is just one facet of it. Lithium batteries has been the other part of it. We just had a major fire because of one.
Sure. Well, urban centers are certainly
just because of one. It was a lot of other factors that are involved. We're just trying to identify if that was the problem, but.
Yeah, I mean, and you're seeing it pop up all over the country, but certainly in urban centers where people have a lot of bike delivery services, food runners, couriers, things like that. You're seeing a lot of illegal charging stations. So those are all things that hit your prevention departments, right? Your building inspectors, all that stuff. And so on. So it is certainly prevalent in our society. We have to tackle it.
I'm gonna run you past the front.
Yeah, great.
Another school. One of the oldest school, Camden High School.
Mm-hmm. Parkside. Welcome to Parkside.
Welcome to Park. This is actually the area I grew up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is this a newer school or refurbished?
This is a newer school all throughout. What you see is the gateway used to be the old school, and it used to be called the Castle on the Hill because it was built like a castle.
Yeah.
And now it's just a modernized school.
Wow.
But they wanted to keep that first piece.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I was asking. Yeah. Yeah. Did you go to school here?
No, I didn't go to school. I went to Catholic school right down the street from it, but I used to always have to travel along this road. And Forest Hill is the elementary school.
Okay. So this was the old neighborhood for you?
Yes.
Very cool.
Traveling up and down these roads.
Watching the fire trucks go by?
You know what? Even when I was that young, I really, I was a young kid. He was like, if I saw a fire truck, I was out of the way. I didn't want my dad to see me do anything. So
I get it. I get it.
Out of the way.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was always a kid that chased them because I just loved it. You know what I mean? Growing up, my father was a fireman, and for me, it was just an early love.
Yeah.
So what do you think's next for you? I mean, 31 years, Chief. That's quite a go. You seem super young still.
I feel super young.
Yeah.
I feel super young, but you learn a lot in every position. It takes you a while to kind of really get your feet firm down on what you want to do. I was a fireman for 7 years. Mm-hmm. You understand why I took you down this street, right? All streets.
Yep.
I took you down this street.
Of course. This is the old neighborhood.
This is the old neighborhood right here. I was a firefighter for 7 years. I made captain. I think I was a captain for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then I became a battalion chief. I was a battalion chief for about 7 years. And then I was a deputy chief for about 6. So, it takes a little while for you to understand the position that you're holding in.
Yeah.
For who you are, and get a good grasp, and then you move on to the next thing. And I've got a couple of years as chief of department, and I'm learning something every single day.
I'm sure. I'm sure. What for you? What were you middle of the row or were
Right
you
here.
right here?
Right here. The 1004.
1004.
That was my house.
That's awesome. I love that. That's cool. That's very cool. What was he? Was there something here at one time?
There was a big building. They did a lot of like I said, it was manufacturing.
Yeah.
Big building, and then it went away. All the business went away, and it became something different over the years.
Got it.
Continuously.
Yeah.
So
I love the old cobblestone streets.
yeah, you had a lot of that throughout the neighborhood. I can take you in different parts of the city
I bet.
where it's a lot of cobblestone.
It's an old town, man. A lot of horses running through here, right? Back
Yes,
in the day,
indeed.
for sure.
Yes, indeed.
It's very cool. A lot of character, for sure.
Yes, indeed. I'm probably with you. I've been cruising and talking the whole
Yeah.
time, and just giving you places that I think you guys would kind of appreciate.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
like, one main thing is I've been trying to scoot you past all the firehouses just
Yeah.
so you can see
Thank you.
how old they were. Along this street right here, and this is called Haddon Avenue, I couldn't tell you how many businesses there were on this street.
Right.
There were so many
When you were growing up.
when I was growing up. And there's still a lot now.
Yeah.
But there was so many. It was incredible. But young, you don't really pay attention to it. It just is what it is. But now that I'm a lot older, I can appreciate it a little bit better, a little bit more, because I sit there and say, I remember how it was. I used to look at my father and laugh and say, he used to come back with these stories of the movie theater that was in the city. And
Right.
he would always talk about these different things that were in the city. And it was always like, how can I say, not breaking his heart, but it always was one of those things that he felt pride in about all the different things that were in the city. And I was always looking at him like, I'm not
Right.
going to be like that.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm about technology. I'm about moving
Right.
forward.
Right.
And now I'm older and I'm going, man, I understand that. Because you look around at everything and you go, there's a lot of things that you remember about growing up, and places you frequent, people you saw, and things that you did while you were in the community doing stuff. Even for them 20 years, there was so many different things that I came back to the city and did with people that it was unbelievable. And we had a great time. And that's why I sit there and say, people look at the city in one way. I look at it as home. Like, I've always came back here and done things and been in places and had a great time.
This, I think, is a beautiful way to kind of wrap a little bit on this conversation, that, when you look back at your upbringing, being a member of the community and growing up here and roaming these streets and getting into mischief and having fun and all those things, the memories, but you're incredibly protective of that because...
1910.
Oh, I love that. I love it. The fire truck probably just fits in that garage door.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because luckily, you good? Okay. Luckily, we were able to. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Luckily, we were able to buy the fire truck in a station that we didn't have to worry about the size, the width of it, the height of it. That's one of the big things, because the one thing we've got to always deal with is the fact that some of the firehouses have height restrictions.
That's right.
That we can't, and some of the fire trucks are coming taller,
Oh, yeah.
bigger,
That's right.
wider, and you've got to make sure you kind of fit it inside of the truck.
Yeah.
Inside of the station.
Right.
So it's one of the things we had to deal with. And Liberty Station being one of our newer stations, 1993, bigger bays. There was no height problem that we were going to face. But the purpose of buying the Apparatus was because they're surrounded by, they're surrounded by our fire belt right now. This is where most of the fires happen, and why we needed to buy that truck.
Yeah. And that truck was bought as a spec truck, correct? So it was you had the opportunity with money to purchase an Apparatus?
So that truck was bought off a stock truck that they were building, and we turned it into a spec truck.
Right.
So as they were putting everything together. We got the money together to buy it, and then we started saying, here's what we need on it, and make sure this is on there and that is on there. And we kind of turned it into a spec truck as best we could. But there's some things you couldn't change because it was already modeled out.
That's right. But it sped up delivery.
Yes.
It had it was a cost-conscious purchase.
Correct.
And so for a city or an urban setting where, you have to be conscious of all those aspects of it. The problem is right now with delivery of fire apparatus, the long lead times. And so going with a stock truck and being able to make some modifications to it as it's coming off the line to make it more yours to represent the city it responds in, right?
Correct.
That's a win for the city.
A win for any city.
Right.
Because you want to make sure you're going to get what the city needs.
Yes.
And the piece we purchase is exactly what the city needs, right? At this point in time, it does everything we need for it to do.
Yes, rightfully so. Yeah, I think more departments need to really start looking at the stock truck program. And, sometimes we get carried away in all the wants we need when in fact we just have needs.
We just have needs, correct.
We just have needs.
And I didn't need nothing with special features or nothing like that. I need a truck that's going to operate and do what it needs to do. That's going to give me the gallons per minute needed. That's going to carry the volume of water needed. That's going to be able to move within a city with a turning radius. That's going to be able to turn down some of these tight streets.
Right.
Because we're talking about something that used to have horse and carriage. And some of the neighborhoods that we have are tighter than others.
Yeah, very good points. And I think that's why we're here today, right? Documenting this apparatus by telling the story of the department. And, I always talk about custom fire apparatus where, for somebody looking in from the outside, if you're not familiar with the department or how they operate, there's no way you can understand why they built what they built.
Correct.
And so even with a stock truck program, understanding your parameters, we needed an engine, we had funding, we needed to pull the trigger, stock truck worked.
Correct.
That's
exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's what, and the time of the stock truck was going to be, because we needed an engine yesterday.
Yeah, right.
And Pierce was good enough to have something that's going to meet our requirements that we could get done within a few months.
Yeah.
So that was perfect. Perfect timing. And we've been working towards always having something prepared to go as far as what we need, because every city and every department out there is always looking to say, we got to replace something, because these apparatus don't last as long as they once did, and the conditions around the environment are changing. So, you got to get something that's going to keep up.
There's a lot to that. Call volume in particular.
Yes.
You guys are a busy department.
Busy department. It's unusual for the day, like I said to you earlier.
Today, we're a white cloud, Chief. Everywhere we go, we're a white cloud. So
yeah, it is unusual for us.
We've only caught a few fires over the years with departments that we spend days with, but whether you're running or not, it's just the hospitality and really, I'm, like I said earlier, I'm a lucky guy, right? I get to look behind the garage doors and really understand how departments are structured and their culture and all of that. And you get a real appreciation for what you guys have here. And I have to tell you, meeting so many of your guys today, their passion for the department, you don't find that everywhere. You don't find guys that are bought into the traditions, into the storytelling that we talked about earlier, into the job, where I sat down with a captain and his probationary fireman today, and we got to kind of have that dynamic of the two of them. It was fun.
Right.
It was fun. And only people that are into the job, only people that are willing to give themselves to the fire service get a return like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But again, it takes you back into history, and these guys, and that's the one good thing that people don't see, and you guys know it. It becomes a brotherhood,
yes,
brother and sisterhood.
100%.
Because you've got a family that you're going to know for the rest of your life, whether they were, whether they came from you or they were related to you in such a way. But this is a family that you're going to know and be able to deal with for the rest of your life. And they're kids, and they're kids.
Yeah.
They're always going to be, and all they ever got to say is, my dad was a fireman here. Come on in.
That's right. That's right. You don't find that in any other profession. And I think what's really cool about it too is look at this fire, another
firehouse.
Oh, look at that. Engine Company 10.
This used to be Engine Company 10 and Engine Company 3 when I came in.
Okay.
At one point in time, it was Engine Company 10 and Ladder 2, so it changed.
Sure.
Jay, real quick before we stop, can you just tap the screen on the GoPro?
Oh.
GoPros might be dead. Yeah, they might be out of battery.
How is that possible?
You have batteries in the car?
Do we have? Did they give you spares or no?
They did not give me spare.
That's all right. We're getting all the audio, so we're okay. We're okay. We got a lot of the video. We got audio. We're good.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I took you down here because there's one thing I wanted to show you down there. This is all part of, and you wanted different areas that we're going to be, that make up what Camden is. You got time?
We got time.
Okay.
We told them we'd be back by 12, but I don't care. We'll be back when we get back.
We'll be close to, we'll be not
Seb,
that
you
far,
want to text them
12:30.
and tell them don't wait for us to eat?
Yeah.
Tell them to eat.
12:30 we're back here because
Yeah,
this
no
doesn't
worries.
take me long. I'm going to show you something real quick, and this is what I mean by Old Town. This is a 100-year-old city, 100-year-old streets. So what we're riding into right now is the Fairview section of Camden.
Yeah.
This is what they used to use for the shipyard. All the people used to live that lived down here worked at the shipyard.
Yeah.
Shipyard's right down the street. That was the other place on my way back. That's what I'm going to show you too. Just want to show you one little area.
So Fairview Village. So all the sections of the city are all titled different neighborhoods?
Different neighborhoods,
That's
right.
cool.
So we were...
You were Forest Hill?
We were in Kramer Hill. Kramer Hill we had drove through. North Camden we had drove through initially.
Okay.
South Camden is where your Engine 8 is at, basically. Parkside is where...
Parkside.
It's where I was at, where I lived at.
A sense of pride within each community then, having an identity like that.
It is. It
Yeah.
is a big sense of pride. And that sense of pride transfers into the firefighters that actually come in here because everybody's grew up in a whole different area.
Right.
So when you talk, when you're communicating with them, you really have to figure out where did you come from. And they're going to tell you different things that they know about where they grew up and how they grew up and how they travel. Because the travel throughout the city is, especially in this neighborhood right here, every street's a one way.
Got it.
You really got to understand how to maneuver down these streets.
You could tell just with the square the way it is, it's built for the community, right? It's
keeps everybody
that's right.
Close, tight-knit family. And guess what? You can almost say the way it was. I mean, you can actually picture it. You see the gentleman working on his car outside, but this is exactly how it was.
Right.
You see how tight these streets are?
Oh, yeah.
These streets are tight.
Well, I know you do have a TDA, right? You guys have a tiller in the city, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we got to, and this is why I tell you. So another lesson that I was told as I was coming up is that the city, as far as terms of ladder trucks, always needed two big bucket trucks, and one tiller. And the one tiller was designed just because of this neighborhood.
That's right. Makes sense. Well, I always say tower ladders put the fire out, right? So your rear mounts, your straight sticks are good for access, accessibility, upper floors, roof, egress, things like that.
Not everybody's going to say that.
No, I know. I get pushback on that, but when you think about it, large fire, tower ladders are coming in and doing a lot of the firework.
A lot of the firework.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But I'd rather get it with the engine.
But you're going to actually see the tiller trucks can make it in the places that the bigger bucket trucks cannot.
For sure.
The tower ladders and the ladder towers, they can't make it in some of these turns and some of these places. But this road right here, you see how close, how tight it is.
Yes.
Horse and carriage. This is another older part of the community. And imagine you're in a tiller truck and you're coming down, and this is what you got to look at.
This is your turn.
This is your turn right here.
You're
going to design it the way it is.
Yep.
A truck sitting on a corner, and you got to get real creative on how you're going to
100%.
maneuver these streets.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that was the only thing I wanted to show you.
Yeah, I appreciate
this
that.
This neighborhood is got some history to itself.
But that's what's so unique about a city, right? Is like you have separate neighborhoods that have their own identities. And I think the fire companies have to represent them, you know? And whether it's from the build and the type of apparatus, but also the mentality that this is our neighborhood and we're here to protect them, you know?
Right.
I love that. That's a big part of the story. And I think for you, like, that's what I was getting at before, right? The streets you used to run around on, and you have a sense of pride in ownership of those communities.
But you know what? Working here as long as I have, I've got a sense of pride of this whole city.
Without a doubt.
Every community, every little facet of it. I worked at that station that we just left that we're passing for many, many years.
Yeah. And I'm sure now in the chief's position, you're going to a lot of community meetings.
Yes.
You're meeting with church officials. You're meeting with neighborhood spokesmen and spokeswomen. So the chief of department job is
it's different. That's all I can tell you.
It's different.
It's way different than regular firefighting. It's way different.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's
Sure.
fun, and it's a lot you get up and a lot of things that I'm learning that I didn't see it from a point of view of being a firefighter, of being a captain, being a battalion chief.
Yeah.
I didn't
Makes
get
sense.
a clearer picture of it until I became the deputy who had to walk alongside the fire chief
Right.
as he did it.
Is the deputy the city tour commander? Is that how that works? That deputy position?
I guess you can kind of call it that. They pretty much handle so many different parts of what's going on. We got 3 deputies. One is administration who handles all the personnel.
Got it. Okay.
We're about 177. We were close to 196, but we're 177 right now. 4 different groups. And then we got one that handles all the facilities, and his job is pretty enormous because, like you said, his job is basically with all the older buildings and all the mandates that we now have on the older buildings. Holtec is another big feature if you want to get a shot of that. Historically, there's probably a lot of historical spots within the city that I didn't take you past.
I get it.
I wanted to hit you with some of the firehouses.
It was great.
Some of the bigger changes that actually happened, things that are coming about, but it's a lot of ebb and flow. Holtec is fairly new. You know, I think they're about 10 years, if not just close to it.
Right.
And then you've got some buildings that have been around here for decades. The port, South Jersey Port, has been here for decades.
Right. You guys have a fireboat, I would assume?
Yes, we do. I was going to take you past the fire, but I said that's a little too much.
That's a, you know, listen, I'm here to learn and to see the city, so you're not hurting my feelings by any means. So is that staffed by what, an engine company or something like that? If it's
one
needed,
of the engine companies actually go out of service. They stop being an engine, and all four guys jump on a boat. And
Got it.
They got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
Along the water, and that's what people. Another thing that you don't really think about is that we're surrounded by water. So we've got to have amphibious equipment, not only just a boat, but the boat. There's facets of the city that the boat can't get to.
Sure.
That you've got to have smaller boats or blow-up boats.
Right.
So that's why the rescue is so important. You know, and I can go on and on why the ladder companies we have are so important. The engines that we have are so important. You know, the personnel that we have important. The training that has to go on, and the fact that we're always getting people from the city to actually join your department and be amongst the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, when somebody needs help, they call the fire department, right?
Yes, they do.
And we don't have the opportunity to say no. So, you know, with that, we're going no matter what, and we need to have whatever it takes to get that job done. And when the city can support its companies and the troops, the boots on the ground, to be able to do their job for the residents, then you're fulfilling that mission that we talked about.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. We're right back to the mission.
Yep. And that's why it's so important. I mean, you know, our conversation today, you know, opening your doors to us, thank you. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. And it's nice to, you know, pull back the covers a little bit and see what's going on. And, you know, you get, like you said, we always focus on so much of the negative or the past. Let's focus on today and the future.
Right.
And I think that's how we move forward. And when the fire service is too stuck in the past and not willing to innovate and push forward into the future, just like society,
Right.
then we're going to fall behind.
We're going to fall behind or not keep up with
That's
the
right.
changes that are required. Not just because of changes, but the required changes.
That's right. Well, it takes vision, and it takes leaders that understand the value of what we do and are protective of that. And, we have to let our people do their jobs. And when we let our firefighters do firefighting things, we have a good environment,
Right.
a good culture, which then translates to the best you can do for your people in the city that you work for.
Correct.
So it's a win.
It's a win-win all the way around.
No doubt. Here we are, right back to
Right back to where we got to go.
yeah.
So
Well,
I
thank
hope
you.
I
It was awesome.
talked enough. I hope I said all the right things.
You said everything and more. It was great. You guys are all private EMS here, or
Private EMS, Cooper
Yeah.
Hospital. That's why they have that sign
Okay.
on there. I don't think there was a thought at the time to join our EMS with them.
So you had EMS?
No, we never.
Okay.
Have. But it's the way they structured it. The way they structured it is, I think, probably one of the best because they're attached to a hospital.
Yes, hospital based.
Right.
Yeah.
So your service and what you get is all in one. Like you're going to be. Did they leave me a spot? No matter. One good thing about being a chief.
You park
Go
where you want.
and
That's
park
right.
where you want.
That's right. Well, I want to say thank you. It's been a great day. We're going to finish up the next couple hours. We'll be done. We'll get your company. I think they're back in service right now anyway. I told them that was fine. But just for you to take time out of your day. I know how busy your day can be, so
No problem.
just to,
If you need the truck, you got the truck.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I do. Listen, I know how, I get it. So I appreciate that. It's very kind. So thank you. We'll get the cameras out of here for you, and then you're off to whatever meeting or things you got to do.
Okay.
So I appreciate it, Chief. Thank you
problem.
very, very much.